Welcome to the lighter side of the dark side. It's your weekly freak show here on Renegade Radio and Steel Waves Radio, as well as all podcast catchers, YouTube. However you're catching us, it's the Dark Mark Show. I'm Dark Mark, the goth comedian, and really my beard's getting really out of control now. It's being in social isolation for a couple months. But somebody that's always prim, proper, looks good. It's Hannah Bach, my co-host.
Oh,
everybody's favorite vegan heavy metal DJ. What were you going to say, Hannah?
The crazy quarantine roots right now. Not a natural blonde.
Oh, that's right. I had no idea. You're not a natural blonde?
My brother is.
Oh, okay. And that's if you're watching on YouTube, that's Grandpa in the background. It was his birthday this week, so happy birthday, Grandpa. Orpheus says happy birthday. That's our guest, one of our favorite guests. We haven't had him on in a couple of years. That's how much we love him. But that's because he's been busy. He's been busy. He's always teaching. He's got classes, not only in the classes on how to choke people, how to set people on fire, how to spank people, also meditation classes, martial arts classes, anything that you really need to learn. This is the man to go to. That's our friend Orpheus Black.
Hey, everybody. How are you doing?
Yes, a podcaster himself. He's done everything. He was. We were talking about the comedy scene, which is on hold. He's an award-winning dirty storyteller, former Avian nominee and Urban X nominee. Did you ever win either one of those?
I'm always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
Never won the award or an Urban X award, but the Susan Lucci of the Urban X Awards.
Exactly.
And I'm going to do this real quick because I think last time I got chastised because it took so long to get out. But four sponsors now, possibly 5 on the way. But very quickly, audibletrial.com/DMS. Any audiobook you want. You can get books on S&M. You can get books on fire. You can get books on choking. You can get the Truth by Neil Strauss, which Orpheus is briefly in, or maybe not. You can get books on meditation, books on martial arts, books on everything that you want. You can get books on Orpheus, you can get books on Black, you can get books on anything. So you get either one free book or 2 Audible originals or 2 free books. If you go to audibletrial.com/DMS, 30-day free trial. You can cancel the next day, you still keep the books.
Nice.
And Doomy's Home Cooking, everybody's favorite vegan place, still open for business in Culver City, Toronto, and in Hollywood, 1253 Vine Street. Help support your local restaurants, especially Doomy's Home Cooking. It's just the best vegan food you'll ever have.
Doomies.
Don't you, Orpheus?
That dude is so cool. Let me tell you, that dude is so cool. He's one of my favorite people. We don't talk very much anymore. We just lost track, but he really reached out to me when I was in this really big cooking phase and invited me to a pop-up restaurant that he was doing, took me back in the back, showed me the kitchen, gave me a really hands-on kind of idea as to what he does. That guy is great. I can't say enough about him.
He's a genius.
I just want to say that.
He's a genius and
genius.
He won't give us the ranch dressing recipe. Maybe you have it.
I wish.
And real quick, Hustler Hollywood is sponsoring us. So we have a 20% off code that I'll post this weekend. Also, Spy Associates. If you want to spy on somebody or you want to see if somebody's spying on you, go to Spy Associates. We will have a code for 20% off every order over $249. They've got GPS trackers. They have cameras and smoke detectors, all sorts of James Bond sort of stuff. So, Hannah, when I said that we were going to have Orpheus on the show, you texted me and said he is the coolest.
He is. And I can't believe it's been 2 years.
2 years. 2 years. We've tried to get him back. There were some scheduling conflicts. He was teaching classes the same night we were doing the shows. But why is he the coolest?
Just so kind and just so intelligent. I've learned so much, just by talking to him, and very kind-hearted,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Well, I will tell you the first time, not the first time we had you on the show, but the first time we had you on the show with Hannah, Orpheus was kind enough to walk you to your car, And then I got text later that night from both of you saying how cool the other one was. I'm wondering what you guys, what that conversation was. Apparently, you guys had a long conversation by the car.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm gonna let Hannah.
Hannah?
If Hannah would like to elaborate, she can. But but I can say this: that you have some amazing people that you work with. Mark, you are a truly amazing soul. You know what I mean? And I want to know that light that you have attracts so many great people. Hannah being one of them.
Yes.
And what's amazing is her love for her family and especially her grandfather. Mm-hmm. And that was something that she really talked to me about and really just couldn't say enough. And, you can see how people love the way they love. It is really says a lot about who they are,
Well, we appreciate that. And we love you. And we
Likewise.
love hearing your stories. And you have a different type of love than a lot of people because you're a polyamorous man. And yes. Are you still a polyamorous man? Because I know you were whittling things down the last time we were talking.
I did. I whittled things down a lot. You know what? I'm starting to pioneer this thing called non-conventional relationship styles. You know what I mean? Like, okay. I'm not going to say poly. I'm not going to say DS. I'm just going to say I'm in a non-conventional relationship and with multiple people. Mm-hmm. And right now I have my wife of 25 years and another partner of 6 years, another partner of a year and almost a year. And, it's amazing. I also live with my best friend of almost 30 years, who was my high school sweetheart. So now we live closer to my other poly partners of 10 years. So, so I'm enjoying life right now.
My head's spinning around here. So you're a high school sweetheart of 30 years. You're living with,
and I and my wife, the three of us. Yes.
Okay, because the social distancing is. I mean, it's got to be hard on you, of anybody.
It is hard, but I live with two beautiful women, so
yeah. So that helps.
That does help. It helps a lot. I live with two beautiful women and I see my other partner who comes by. She social distances with everyone except for us. So, we make sure that we continue to have our relationship. There's only a few elements of our relationship that are not here. So the worst part of actually being in this COVID is things haven't changed enough to where it's a big shift. So it's really hard to fathom why I can't have the other person, like why I can't see my partner of 6 years or her family. She's got kids and a husband and I love them all. And last time we saw them, we all had this really great dinner and, with all my family and all her family.
It's being Orpheus Black is like Thanksgiving every day, except instead of pumpkin pie for dessert.
See,
you're in a bowl gag, basically.
You're assuming that all my relationships are sexual, though. Okay. That's the assumption.
Obviously not with the husband and the kids.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean,
very heterosexual.
It's an extended family.
Yeah, but again, I have poly family members that I'm platonic with as well. We moved our relationship from a sexual relationship to a platonic relationship, but we still consider ourselves family. And that's why I say I'm in some non-conventional relationships.
Right. Open marriage is too confining, or?
Because open marriage is a very specific thing.
It's different from what you have.
It's different from what I am. Yes.
Okay. So does Indigo have to approve all of your partners?
No, but I would like her to.
Yeah.
Why don't you know what I mean? I invite her to all the time because, I trust her opinion and her judgment so much that she may see something in someone that I don't see because you get that new relationship energy. You meet somebody, you're excited, and you can't see objectively. And she can often see if a person is genuine or not genuine. So I always encourage her to speak about those things and to give me insight into what it is that I'm doing.
Right.
That's why it's a partnership.
More than one man at a time, Hannah?
Not sexually, no, but I've just talked to multiple men once. That's about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I tried it. I mean, obviously not to the extent that Orpheus has, but I've dated more than one woman at a time, and there's always one that kind of floats to the top, and then the other ones can sense that. I'm not good with dating more than one woman at a time.
You don't have to be good at it. You just have to work at it.
So what are the exercises I need to do to get good at this?
You ever heard of the love languages?
No. Please.
There's this book that's called The 5 Love Languages, right? And it's like, it's basically how people express their emotions. They're like, I express my emotions through gifts or creating time or deep conversation, so on and so forth. I look at that as an opportunity. I have to be multilingual. I have to speak every love language to be able to be fluent in every love language. So I'm always reading, I'm always writing, I'm always thinking, I'm always talking, I'm always creating time, always creating space, I'm always working at it. You know, I was just showing a friend of mine this thing. I'll show you guys real quick. Like all these books that I have on my desk are all books that my partners have said they read. You know what I mean? So I read the books that they read. You know, I watch the shows that they watch, you know, that way I can have something to talk about. And I can also have a better understanding of what shapes their mind and guides their philosophies in life. So I try to be fluent in everything that they know. So I'm always working, I'm always reading, I'm always, you know, remembering stories and anecdotes, you know, that they tell me, you know.
That is important. I when I really like a girl, I tend to remember a lot of things that they don't remember.
Right.
And which is sometimes good, sometimes bad. If it depends how far back they go. But I had a girlfriend that I dated like 10 years. I found her on Facebook. We dated again 10 years after we dated the first time, and I remembered everything so clearly. And to her, it was kind of it was a little fuzzy. But it was. But I'm glad we had. It was kind of amounted to a fling, but it was proper closure that we never had.
Right.
So and now she's married. She's got a kid, so things are good. Now, this is got to be your business is to teach people.
Yes.
Not only the carnal arts, which you've been doing, but in the last 2 years, you kind of gotten away from that a little bit, and that you're teaching meditation, you're teaching martial arts, and other things. This seems to happen a lot. I see a lot of the people that teach seduction or teach sex instruction and other things. They kind of branch out into non-sexual. I mean, I guess it's all sexual, but not overtly sexual topics.
Right. Yeah. But I've always taught martial arts. You know, I've always done martial arts. I've always taught martial arts. I've always meditated, and I've always worked with people around meditation. But I also do this with men. Specifically, my focus with martial arts is to kind of help men be better men and not default into toxic masculinity, try and help them understand what masculinity is, and to be better, embrace better lover archetypes. You know what I mean? Like we all have kind of this idea as to how we show up in relationships. And I can tell you most of the time that what men think they are doing is often not what they're doing. And
I can, from personal experience, I can guarantee that I'm not doing what I think I'm doing. But also, I don't give off, and we've talked about this on the show before. I don't give off near the manly vibe that you do, and I don't know why that is.
I think you just need more confidence, Mark.
Well, I know he's more confident, and but it's not just a confidence; it's a manliness, and it's not
Manly.
We didn't hear that.
You need confidence to know you're manly because you are manly. Just don't put yourself down. You're not.
Well, I guess I'm manly then, but I mean, Orpheus has got a deeper voice. He's got. I mean, he just he comes in and it's kind of like it's all it's like when you see these old movies, Clint Eastwood walks into a room or Robert De Niro walks into a room and everybody just scatters because the real man is in the room.
But it's a plus and a minus. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Hannah. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. No, I was saying there's two types of guys that women like: the funny guy and then the romantic, handsome hero, and they're both great. And Mark, you're a funny guy. Not a lot of guys.
No, everybody's their own thing, but I'm just saying, I think I need a little more a little more of a masculine sense about myself, and part of it too is my father is Mr. Alpha Male.
Mm.
If my father, even Orpheus, as manly as you are, if you walked in a room and my father walked in a room, that's the man. He's an old Navy guy, Italian guy. He walks into a room and just he gets, even if he doesn't say anything, nobody knows him. He gets respect. He just has that aura about him,
Right?
and he always has. And in my youth, and even still, I kind of how do you rebel against that? You become a pussy, basically. Is what happened, and I retreated into books, and I didn't become, when it came to fights, I would run away. And I never thought to prove myself as a man or to work on myself as a man until, I got, in my 30s, really, is when I even was conscious about it.
Well, let me, if I can say, is it okay if I speak on that?
Oh, please.
Okay. So what I've come to find is that there are many different archetypes that comprise man, what we think is a man. Like she said, the funny type, the tough type, the quiet, strong, silent, the this, the that. Mostly men get relegated to provider, right? And confidence. The guy who's a go-getter, he's going to go out there and complete it, any task. You get two, really. And those are the ones that are valued in this society. The people who are overlooked are loving, caring, kind. You know what I'm saying? All those comprise man, but also protectors, right? One of the major compliments I get from partners is they're like, when I'm with you, I always feel safe.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I become a place for safety. You know what I mean? So for me, working on all those archetypes for me is important. So for me to be a protector, I work on martial arts. I make sure that if anything happens, I'm able to do it. I work on my money so I can be a provider, right? Mm-hmm. So I work on that. I also try to be funny, to be honest with you. I'm not good at it, but I try. Well, thank you. I try, you know what I mean? I try to be emotional. I try to be a good father. I try to be a good friend. I try to be, you know what I mean? Like, I'm always trying to work on the whole spectrum. To me, the most manly man is the one that's capable of embracing all of who he is, right? Not just one facet, the things that get respect, like being tough, right? What about being vulnerable? You know what I mean? What about being able to be open? What about being transparent or being a man of your word, having character? You show up in so many other ways that I respect, or I wouldn't do your show. Right. That I think are just a man. You've always done what you say you're going to do. You always keep your word. If you make a mistake, you apologize for it. I mean, those are things that you can't get out of most people.
No, but you know what I'm saying? There's and I actually think of you as one of the few last real men left, in that I see a lot of quote unquote tough guys with the, that think that that they'll walk around and they try to push people around, they try to intimidate people,
right?
And they're not intimidating. Like, no. I've had people, because of my size, try to pick fights with me, and I can pretty much back them down, just give them a stare. But I mean, you know what I'm saying? My father's, and I don't know about my father's generation. There's a manliness there that is disappearing, that a lot of people are trying to get at, and it comes natural to you, but it doesn't come natural to a lot of people.
It doesn't come natural. I had to work on it. Yeah. Remember Dave Chappelle's moms told him that sometimes you have to talk like a lion so you can live like a lamb.
Right.
You know what I mean? And to me, that is literally my life, but I can tell you, I've lost more fights than I've won. You know what I mean? I've been knocked unconscious, beat under a car. You know what I'm saying? I've been hit by a car, intentionally run over. I mean, I've been through some.
Fair fight. Come on.
Hey, so when you're this big, a lot of people tend to want to even the odds with sticks, canes, pipes, rocks.
Sure, that's not fair.
But to me, what really makes a man is the ability to get up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? My martial arts teacher used to tell everybody lay on the floor and then get up. And he's like, I just taught you the most important thing you'll ever do. Because as a person, you're going to get knocked down and you have to get back up. And that's really a statement it's really a statement about who you are. And it's not about manly or feminine. Everybody has to do it.
Right.
And so I practice it. You know what I mean? I practice it on a regular basis, getting thrown in the ground and getting back up. That's the hard part, getting knocked down and getting back up. You know,
And what kind of martial arts do you study?
I'm sorry?
I never asked you. What kind of martial arts do you study? And what do you do?
Well, actually, I've done a lot: judo, karate, taekwondo. But I'm actually a Lameko teacher. I just got certified in Filipino martial arts, which is a stick and knife art. But I also do bare knuckle boxing and standard boxing. So, but the thing is at the end of the day, it's about you getting in there with another person. And honestly, the only thing that happens, the only thing you bring into a ring is whatever you brought in. You know, the only thing that exists in there is your fear, your scared, your cowardice, your thing. Whatever your thing is, you have to beat that before you can beat the other person. And that's what you really learn going into these spaces, is how to confront your own demons. This other guy is just a veneer for it. He's just a stand-in, you know? And so when somebody throws a punch and you flinch and you forget everything that you've learned, or you go into this space of retreat, you know, you did that. He didn't beat you. You beat you.
Right.
Right. And so I try to make sure that when I'm working with guys, it's like, stand there, stand your ground, beat your demons, feel the pain, feel whatever it is, you know, feel those feelings. It's okay.
Right.
You know, and that's really it. I just got comfortable with feeling those feelings.
And you're already proficient with the knives from, you know, S&M days.
You know, and I still do the S&M.
This knife art, does the knife play that you've done on women, does that help?
I think it does.
Yeah.
Because, you know, most people don't know what it feels like to actually cut into something.
Right.
You know what I mean? To actually intentionally push a blade into someone, right? And the varying degrees and how much pressure it takes to actually break the skin or not break the skin.
Right.
So when I put a knife up to someone's throat doing a demo, they understand what it feels like. They're like, oh, this guy's going to cut me. You know, not that they're sharp, but they still feel that way because it's the intention and the force. So I do get something out of it. But also
control not to break the skin, but make it look like you're about to.
Yeah.
And to actually just break the skin. And
exactly.
Are you into knife play, Hannah?
Oh, the doctors get a knife playing me all the time. I'm always going for surgery. So
no knife play? What?
Because you are the only co-host I've had that hasn't done Orpheus hasn't done the fire on you. And I hate to tell you, Orpheus, but Dangerous D on Hannah's birthday taught her how to blow fire and put some set her hand on fire.
Seeing the fire was going to go up though.
Yeah. What?
With the first much hairspray in it, I was like,
Well, there's still hope for me yet. We could still do it. We could still put fire onto her body. So, you know, so whenever she's changed her mind, we'll go into that.
Yes. Now she's covered. And you didn't want to do it then either, but we talked you into it and it was fine.
Well, you know what? I hope that you do it whenever you're comfortable. Whenever you're comfortable, whenever you're ready, you let us know. I do have a question, though, for you, Hannah.
Yes.
Here's my definition of kink. Kink is anything outside of what you think is normal sexual behavior. So by your standard, what do you feel is kinky?
You know, since becoming a part of the Dark Mark family, nothing is kinky to me. It seems all normal, like everything.
Okay.
Surprises me, and it's cool as long as both consenting adults have at it.
But you haven't all the things that we've done on the show, you haven't done in your real life.
No, you know, I'm actually I'm at the point where I'm so disgusted by the opposite sex due to social media. I do not want to be messed with because men are really discussing your DMs constantly bothering you. So right now, I feel like.
Well, you might want to check your audio. You keep going in and out, but funny you should say that because we're going to have Hannah T-shirts available very soon. So all your adoring male fans. But here's the thing, Orpheus. We had Lady Remedy on a few weeks ago.
Remedy Ann, yeah.
Yeah, she's been doing all of her social distancing. She's living at LAX,
Right.
sanctuary. So we had to, and every time I've had a dom on, including you, Hannah seems to light up and really get joyous in a way. I think I'm trying to convince her to be a dom, and she's like, I'm going to do it. She posted on some feet sites, and that didn't go over too well.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I think that there's a difference between being a dom and being a person who services other people's needs, right? To me, being a dominant is a lifestyle practice. It is not just it's not just a financial gain thing, because everybody has feet. Some people's feet are cuter than others, and for most foot guys, they don't care whether you're a dom or a dame. It doesn't matter. They just want the type of feet that they want. You put them in their face, they do what they do, and then you move on. Now, but there's people who create a whole aura, a whole protocol around it. They understand the basic need that person's asking them for, and they know how to facilitate them on a psychosexual level. That, to me, is the artistry of dominance. When you can understand the sublimated energies that are happening and the process that goes in, or even the privation that happens in his mind, and you're able to work with that. The feet are just a conduit, just the key to get into that. But if you're just providing it, I mean, anyone can do that. You know what I mean? So anyone can swing a flogger, but to give them the total experience is what a dominant does, psychologically, emotionally, and physically.
I only ask you because I know that it's a typical thing for a sub man to worship a dom's feet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you deal with women, do they worship your feet?
I've had women that, first of all, my feet are not what they used to be. I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to be honest. They, over the years, we've had some
really
hardships.
Nice.
They used to be, I used to have the feet jewelry and everything, the toe rings, painted my nails, the whole 9 yards. And actually, I went to a place and they cut into my foot and I got an infection. Oh. And I was never able to, even though I got the surgery and everything, I wasn't able to thwart the infection. So I'm not really happy with what they are now. That being said, back in the days, men used to worship my feet and women used to worship my feet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm an equal opportunity player. I'll play with anybody. I'm not having sex with anybody, but
right.
I'm here to satiate desires and be a dominant for an individual, not for a gender. You know what I mean? Like, I don't cater to a gender. I cater to submissives.
Yeah, I had a guy wanted to pay $40 to see my feet, and I turned it down. But
oh yeah, if you're talking about $40, you should turn it down. I don't do anything. I don't get out of bed for $40.
Oh, okay. It was a weird New Year's Eve party. But so, when was the last time you actually did a performance, or we're out in the public playing?
Out in the public playing, I was in Costa Rica the last time I did a show.
And what was that?
And that was maybe November. Wow. November was last time I did a show. I still play. I just haven't done any shows.
Right. They flew you to Costa Rica. Was this like an exotic convention, or just?
No. I work for a company that teaches sex coaches.
Okay.
And I'm their person that they go to for kink. And for me, it's actually a really important thing to help people understand the difference between kink and BDSM, and a spiritual process, and how to open up their desires and help people speak to their desires. So as that being my thing, they really enjoy what we do. And I've been working with them for about 2 years. Okay. And it's been good. But that was the last time I did a performance. And it was one of the best performances that I've ever done, I have to say.
Well, what did you do?
The person that I was with was able to shift into a space of allowing, not holding on to anything, like not holding on to, any societal constraints. She was just able to let go and be present in that space. And I was able to be present with her, and we forgot that anybody was there. And really it was the emotional connection that we played in that space of BDSM. We were still playing in an emotional space, a very touching and intimate space. And actually she wound up breaking down and crying, and because she had let go so much, and she was holding on, she was trying to get over a breakup, and she was trying to get over this. And she actually had this cathartic release where she was able to let it go. And then I wound up just holding her for like, 30 minutes to an hour of just, being together. And I think that human connection was really what she was looking for. And I was very honored that she allowed me to be in that space with her.
So they flew you down for kink, and you held a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's what it's about.
I think a lot of times it is.
I did a scene like 10 years ago in San Francisco, and this person, and I'm just going to use the crew terms because I don't know the terms, but a person who was presenting as male, heavier woman, black woman, in maybe her late 50s, wanted to do a scene. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Right. And got naked, had the grandma bras on, the discolored grandma bras and the underwear that came up to here, what I mean? So we do this scene. No matter what I did, it seemed so painful, right? The flogging, the spanking, the everything. But when I reached over and touched her back, she shuddered, right? And then when I pulled her close, she started crying. And the whole scene became about me sitting there in the middle of a crowded club, holding this woman in this space. And later on, what she said is that after her partner had died, she hadn't been touched by another individual in 10 years. No one. So that's why I say when we talk about dominance really is about having the knowledge to access a person on every level and be able to hold that space. It's easy to be a sadist, right? Somebody wants pain, give them pain, right? Somebody wants feet, give them feet. But to bridge it all together, to bridge their emotional state, their psychological state, everything, to bring all those things together is what we do.
But this wasn't, when you started, you didn't have this emotional awareness, did you? Or
no, not at all.
It was all sadism.
It was all sadism. It was all sadism, and it was all performance. I didn't realize that, I wanted to be a performer. I came out of doing rap music. Like I did rap music before, and then I was a rapper, and I toured around and, was in studios all the time. And then I gave it up to be a father, but I still wanted to perform. And when I saw people in Hollywood doing these shows, I'm like, I could do that. And I started doing that, right? But it was about doing sadism safely is really what we were talking about. So I had no emotional awareness. I didn't have the emotional capacity to be able to deal with people because I was really searching for my thing.
Well, you were figuring it out.
Yeah. I was learning me. Like I was feeding my need, right? I was using other people to feed my need. And now in retrospect, I realized that I probably should have did that work first and then came into it. But I was working it out on stage, Yeah,
it's all a learning process. I think I think maybe being a good sadist and being able to put that if you weren't such a good sadist, maybe you wouldn't be so good emotionally.
I gotta say, I'm not a sadist, but I can say if I wasn't a good performer, then I probably wouldn't be doing this.
Well, you portray a good sadist.
I portray a good sadist. There you go.
Yes. I'm just trying to. I know that Hannah's been sequestered, and it's to the point where you're like when Governor Cuomo goes on TV, she starts going crazy. But now that you said that you were a musician, I don't know what to think. Why do you think? Now, why do women always go for the musicians? That's what I want to know. Since you were a musician,
I'm not a musician, but I'm a wordsmith.
I know that you told one of your dirty stories once. It was about the dick cream.
Yeah.
You have another dirty story? Because I love that one.
About the dick cream?
But another dirty story, because I know you're an award-winning dirty storyteller.
Oh man, I don't know if I have any.
Or a good story that's happened to you lately.
You know what? I was reminded of an incident. These are not stories, man. I'm just telling my life, to be honest.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So during the you remember the big earthquake, the Northridge earthquake?
Yeah.
I was dating a woman and her parents did not like me at all, right? And they were sheriffs. And so what happened was the night before the earthquake, the night of the earthquake, I snuck into her room,
Right.
which was actually right next door to their room. And we're doing the thing, we're going in, we're trying to be quiet, we're having sex. So I'm like, okay. And then this earthquake happened. I thought the house was going to come down.
Right.
I push her out the bed onto the floor. I'm trying to cover her up, and then she's like, we got to get to the doorway. And so I run in there into the doorway and I'm holding on and she's holding on to me. And then I look across at the other doorway and her parents are standing there. I am butt naked, right? Still wet. She's naked. And her father's looking at me like, soon I'm going to, like as soon as she, it was the dirtiest look that I ever seen in my life. And really, I was thinking as soon as the shaking starts, I'm going to run, jump out the window, start running down the streets. But it stopped for a moment and they're like, we need you to get dressed so you can help us check the power lines and the gas lines. And we walked around the house, And I'm in my boxers and flip flops, because I couldn't find my clothes in the dark. And he's like, looking at the thing and, he's like, you fucked up, right? Power's out and I'm thinking I'm going to get shot in the head,
Right.
like an intruder, but it actually all worked out. And they let me go home, after we checked all the stuff. But that was one of the things that happened to me.
Now, did you think the shaking was you? Was that initially, or?
Oh, well, I thought I thought I rocked that world,
Yeah, you're rocking so much that the whole house is the roof is caving in.
Exactly.
So how are you making money now? So are you doing things online?
Yeah, I do online classes. I coach. I provide kink coaching for coaches is what I do. So people who want to work with couples and coach them around kink or add kink into their already sex coaching, I provide them with the skills to be able to coach around kink. Because people still don't have a really good understanding as to what the difference between kink is and what the difference between kink and BDSM, because they're two different things.
Well, explain that to me again. What is the difference between kink and BDSM?
All right. So kink is the umbrella word. BDSM falls under it. So kink is any deviation from what you think is normal. And so that could be bondage, discipline, sadomasochism. It can be foot fetish. It can be all these other things. But what we have to start with is what that person thinks is kinky. Because during the Victorian era, doing it, a woman getting on top was kinky.
Right.
Up until like maybe 50, 60 years ago, a blowjob was kinky. So the idea is to get a person to tell you what they think is kinky, right? What they think is a deviation from the norm. So
and
we
Hannah
can work
never did that.
Huh?
Hannah never did that.
Hannah never did that.
What is kinky to you, Hannah? What is something that you've never done?
That you want to do.
That you wanted to do?
Nothing I want to do.
Nothing? No fire play, no knife play, no...
No, I've experimented with girls, and because I thought I was gay, but I wasn't. I just wasn't with the right person when I was with my first man, and experience what I like.
Okay. So you're completely satisfied sexually?
When I find the right partner, I do. But what's really important to me is you have to be comfortable with the person in bed and actually maybe be able to laugh and just like kind of lay there and just be comfortable with each other.
And are you dominant in bed?
It depends on my partner. I could switch it.
Okay. All right.
I like it. It. So let me ask you this: when you were coming up, what was the thing that you wanted to do that you were a little timid to do? Like you had reservations, like there was some resistance coming up, although you still wanted to do it.
Well, I had a really tough upbringing, so I really didn't have sex until I was 24, or really make a guy until I was about 23, 24.
Okay.
So I don't know.
You don't have anything?
There were no fantasies.
Fantasies. Yeah, David Duchovny. There we go. The fantasy.
Yeah, that is,
Okay, that was great. That was great. That's hot.
now, what did you want David Duchovny to do to you?
I want him to be like getting to
I can't hear what she said. Wait, repeat that?
Yeah, her mic's going weird, but go ahead.
think moody Californication. Get into character.
Role play.
Ah, see, now
I
we're
like
getting
it.
somewhere.
I like it. You know, I thought you were going to say have him examine your X Files, but
Truth is out there.
there you go. The truth is out there. It's out there now.
So, do you role play, Hannah, in your sex life? Is that something you've done?
Partner's down for it. What usually like need me? They just want to be with me. Doesn't really happen too much.
You don't put on wigs. You don't put on costumes. You don't pretend you're somebody else.
No, they just want me.
You're the teacher. You're the schoolgirl. You're the
No, they just
headmistress. You're the witch. You're the no.
Dude,
Okay.
Dark, where you, man? Like you had a whole list of things, right?
I've
Are you working with a fantasy, or are you drawing from your real life?
I'm so bad at role playing. I really am. My ex-girlfriend was a webcam girl. She wanted to do. I've said this recently on the air, but she wanted to do and I just found it too. She wanted to do a tape of like her doing whatever I desired, whatever role play I wanted her to do, and I just couldn't think of anything. I just want to. I have no imagination whatsoever, and so the whole thing, like, she edited it, and you could see like her frustration the whole time. And the only hot part of the video is, for some reason, I don't know, the camera may have been facing the floor or something, but we were fucking and she comes, and it's like, okay, that's hot, and then she gets back on camera, it's like she's rolling her eyes again. And then I just found out that she put that on Clips for Sale.
Oh.
So I think I don't know if she used my voice, but I think I owed some money for that. And whoever brought, and it says I took one of my lovers to a hotel and we role played, and like, it was the worst role play ever. I'm telling you.
Dude, so have you ever been on camera? Had sex on camera?
Have I ever had sex on camera?
Yeah.
Trying to think. No, I don't think so.
What about you, Hannah?
Here. Oh.
wait, we couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Insecure. I don't even want the lights on.
Oh my God. What do you have to be insecure about?
That's a good question. And there's nothing to be insecure. So I keep saying.
Oh, I've had.
You gotta check that audio. I don't know.
You gotta check the audio. Yeah, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah,
much
now,
better.
Now you're fine.
All right, I'm gonna have to keep you up like that then. No, like I've had guys and honestly, I've gotten more compliments than I have gotten put down. But I remember everything that was said to me that was terrible and not that was good. So I'm insecure. It's easier to remember that stuff.
But have you had anything? Well, I was going to say that because you went out with that guy that started, asshead that started.
Yeah. Trying to say that I was kind of like an X-Men or Avatar, and then I was a little chunky because of my scars, and like he wasn't very nice.
And yet you liked him, and you wanted to keep going out with him.
I was just in a bad place. I was insecure. So
the last guy, we call him asshead.
Oh, and he listened to the show too. Yeah.
Good. That he knows
yeah,
what I
where
think
you
of
told
him.
him to suck a dick or something, and he was like, "And you didn't say anything. You didn't even stand up for me." I'm like, "Oh."
That's what I stand up for.
There's nothing to stand up for. You're right.
Dude.
Maybe you have some insight in this, Orpheus, because I'm racking my head, and you put it perfectly. Hannah's a beautiful woman. There's nothing. Nobody can say anything different. And I mean, why does she have the worst taste in men? And it's drawn to men that will tell her bad things about herself and thrive on that.
Well, let me start with this. Hannah, is it okay if I speak on that?
Of course.
Okay. In my experience and in my research, what people are often doing is looking for some form of validation from someone that they feel would know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what they're looking for is someone who is, he's super hot, he's super cute, and I want him to validate me, so that I can feel super hot, super cool. You know what I mean? And when they don't, they get torn down. But actually what this person is doing is putting you down so that they don't have to lift themselves up. They can be held in the highest esteem, and you're going to love me and you're going to do all these things because you're beneath me. And it's because I put you there. Right.
I agree.
So what a person needs to do in that space is to, first of all, understand that it's more important to love people who love you than to look for validation from people who are not going to give a damn about you. The other thing is that this is a dating technique, which Neil Strauss goes over, which is where they kind of give the insult, and the person like, why are you saying this? And now they're like, why are you rejecting me? And it's really a hook to get a person in. Any insecure person, when you deliver the insult, they wind up latched on, and you can drag them and pull them wherever you want to go because they want to know why, and they never give you the why.
But here's the weird thing. This was not a neg because it was postcoital.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but the nag works to me, period, because you have to keep reinforcing it. The thing about like neuro-linguistic programming, or the premise for it, is that you give the meme, you give the information, it's accepted, and then you keep reinforcing it. And that's for a long-term thing. The Neil Strauss version is because he's going to hook up with a person one night and then let them go. He's never going to do it, so they don't go into the reinforcing of it. Right. But people who are getting trapped into emotionally abusive relationships are people who are like, I'm going to keep you, but I'm going to keep you on a leash, and I'm going to keep reminding you why you're a bad girl, and I'm going to keep making you understand why I'm doing you a favor by being in a relationship with you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which is different from
the
from
people
sub dynamic.
Definitely, because it's definitely not like that. But any basic human relationship should be that both people are healthy enough to understand what they bring to the party, and that what they bring is valuable, right? You have an inherent value, and it's not your body, it is what is in your body, right? And people have to want to invest in what you are, especially a long-term investment, because a woman, to me, is something that matures like wine or like gold. The investment becomes more, it becomes greater. And the greater that investment, the more a man has to work on himself to be worthy of that thing that they are, right? A woman should, be able to inspire a man to be the greatest he can be just because of who she is.
Right. I just personally, I would never want to date somebody that I felt was beneath me.
Yes, correct.
At all.
Exactly.
I would want somebody on my level or higher.
Yeah.
Aspire to be on her level.
And that's one of the things about Sufism. When they talk about, when Sufi poets write poetry about the beloved, what they're talking about is something that's greater than themselves, that inspires them to greatness, right? And when you look at a woman as this beautiful representation of a blessing that you received, that life gave to you, or whatever creator it is, you need to be worthy of that blessing. You need to make yourself better, right? And you compliment and reinforce and praise them for being who they are. But oftentimes when a person's in this space of insecurity, and let's look at what insecurity means, it means not secure. You don't feel safe. You're looking for someone to provide that safety for you. That's the validation. Right. When you're in that space, you can't tell what's good for you and what's not good for you.
Right. And Hannah, when Orpheus, to bring this thing full circle, when Orpheus talks about holding on to a woman and making them feel safe and not letting them go, that's what I aspire. That's what I want for you. I want you to find a man that does that for you.
And I want you to find a nice woman too that thinks of you that way.
I agree, because you're both amazing people.
But a man or a woman that that will embrace you and make you feel safe. And you know, when I start chuckling at some of these guys you date, I'm just baffled why you don't aspire for that.
It's just taken me a long time to learn to love myself because I came from such an abusive childhood. So it's just something I have to learn to love myself, learn to love myself like my grandfather loves me and how my friends do. So it's like a learning process for me, I think.
Yeah. And don't get lip implants, by the way, especially on Groupon, because that's not gonna. Did you see that, Orpheus?
No, the Groupon. Oh yeah, the Groupon
on Facebook. I just saw on Groupon they've got lip implants. Do you think that's a good idea?
It was like funny. It was a funny little banter between me and my grandfather. But he told me he would write me out of the will if I messed with my face.
You know what? You don't put paint on the Mona Lisa. All right.
Yeah.
It's already perfect. So you can leave yourself just the way you are.
Thank you.
And also, Groupon's good for
Classes.
discount tickets, but not for plastic surgery. I don't think.
And classes too. You can get some classes on there.
Yeah, you can get classes. Maybe I don't think Orpheus' classes are on Groupon, but
no,
you can get some.
No.
Yeah, you can get the classes. Yeah.
You know, it took me a long time to get my prices up to where they are. So, you know, I'm not lowering them anytime soon.
So is the demand still there for your classes, even though they're virtual?
Yeah, I'm charging $500 a person for 8 weeks, 8-week classes. And I think they're absolutely worth it, you know, to be in the space of, you know, to help people really understand their desire, because that's really what we're talking about, speaking to our desires and being worthy of what we want. So, you know, helping people do that, I think is really a novel goal, and people have to put the money where their mouth is. If you really want to take the time, you really want to improve yourself, or you really want to work with other people and help them, understand the sensual side of their dark nature, you know, the dark side of sexuality, then let's do it. But I don't undercut myself anymore.
No. But for $500, what are we getting? What are you teaching us?
Well, again, I'm teaching kink to coaches. So these are people who are probably going to make money off of the education that I provide them. But we start with the ABCs of BDSM, helping people to understand the vocabulary, to have a mutual vocabulary, to understand the words that they're using, what they mean, so that they can help other people understand. We always talk about negotiation, but no one talks about the vocabulary. If I speak Spanish and you speak Chinese, we can't negotiate. So we have to have a common language. So that's the first unit that we go into.
Slap on the ass is the universal language.
No, no, it's not. But you know what I'm saying? So having that is important, developing understanding, being able to do 3-way negotiation and not just 2-way negotiation, super important. Being able to demonstrate your negotiation process and walk people through it. That's all in the first unit. So we're talking about going everywhere from vocabulary to consent.
So 3-way, who's the third person?
Well, when you're coaching, you're usually coaching couples.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
I'm helping them. I'm telling them how to negotiate.
Okay, got it.
Right. And then if we do a scene together, or if I walk them through a scene, I have to negotiate my role in that interaction as well.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we go into there, and then we go into like the sublimation of desire, sublimating energies. We're talking about archetypes that are built around the insatiability of desire, you know, those type of things. You know, that's another thing that I'm not going to get into, but something that Hannah might want to look into is the identity that comes around, that revolves around trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because again, you can't heal someone who's not ready to let go of the thing that's making them sick.
Yeah.
Right.
It can be frustrating sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah. And what happens is people create an identity around being that girl who's never going to find the right person and so they continue to choose the same person over and over because it reinforces the identity. When you don't want to be that person anymore, right? Your patterns change. It's like, I don't want to be this person. And who do I want to become? And that's really what it's about. It's not about it's not loving this identity. It's about becoming a fuller version of yourself. So those are other things that we talk about in the class and really helping how to manifest that.
Well, it's as with all of your other classes, it sounds great. Now, I bet you can't wait though to be able to do your live classes again?
Oh man, of course. I can't. Honestly,
It might not be until 2021, but yeah.
What I'm looking for, honestly, I'm looking forward to being able to play with all my partners again. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I want to be able to do is reconnect with my family. Not, I want to be able to touch them and hold them and spank them too and tie them up and do all the things. We just did a big retreat in January, February, March. In September. No, it was in October. We did a big retreat where my whole family, we all went to Temecula. We rented a big mansion. No, it was for Valentine's Day in February. It was a kinky Valentine. And we had 10 couples and my whole family was there. We had our own house that we were in. These other people were there. And we had this amazing time, and I'm so glad that we got to have that opportunity before this thing happened, but it still makes me crave more. Like I want to tie and I want to play and I just want to be in a place where I can be free again,
I know that's romantic.
Dude, I'm so pent up and repressed right now.
and you're sitting there with two women.
Yeah.
Women.
But you know what? It's like, you've had multiple partners and each one brings something different and you want to have that experience with all of them.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's like every experience is different and unique and each person brings out a different side of you.
I mean, Hannah's in with Grandpa and I'm by my lonesome here at the...
Oh, you can borrow him if you want. He's been a handful.
I'm sure. Yeah, no, it's okay. I'm not into... I don't need to practice my infantilism quite yet.
Hey, dude, how are you holding up though?
Like, no, I'm okay. I mean, I look a mess because I haven't shaved and my hair's a mess. I should have kept with the bald look. With you look great. You just shave it, but I had the bald look for a while because my friend had cancer and I shaved my head and. Now people, every time I do something different, I realize that's it. You look great. Now I was like, now you look great. I had the ball look. Everybody's like, now you look great. But,
dude, I like it. I like the look. I gotta be honest with you. I dig this look more than I dig the other one. I mean, this look right here, I think that's marketable. I think people would, it's a joy to look at. Like I like it. I like your hair. I like the whole thing. Whatever you got going on is dope.
Yeah, this does need a trim, but still, it's okay. But no, I'm doing okay. It's just I don't know, when I'm ever gonna get laid again. Who knows? I mean, it was tough enough as it was, and now I can't go out. I go out, and you do online stuff, but it's not the same as having that connection and meeting that person.
I know a 70-year-old guy right now. I just met him.
Yeah.
He said he's met 3 partners online during COVID.
Wow.
3 freaking partners. I'm like, how did you do this? And he said people are lonely and they're wanting to be able to have hookups, and so they're quarantining for 14 days, right? Okay. And they're scheduling a meeting and then they go out and they hook up with each other and then they go back and then they're done. But they're like 14-day kind of things, and it's good and he says what he does is weekends, like they'll do 14 days and that 14th day is like a Friday, and they'll spend like till Sunday together and then they go their separate ways, or they meet up again after another 14 days.
Wow.
Right. And he said it's the best season for him, what I mean? So maybe
no, I had a social distancing date. I met this girl. We sat in her garden with masks on, 6 feet apart, and chatted. So that's as close as I got. And,
dude,
that's cute.
Yeah. Hannah,
what happened? It sounds cute. Like, what happened? Elaborate a little.
That was it. I mean, it was fun.
Uh-huh.
She ghosted me, and I was like, "Oh, you forgot about me already?" And I don't know. She met another guy, or who knows? I don't know what happened, but. So she's like, I just want to be friends. I'm like, that's fine.
Dude, the friend zone is vicious.
It didn't click right.
Yeah.
Well,
she's nice though. Yeah.
You know what? Can I
I'm
ask
not
you?
like
Can I
Orpheus,
ask you a
like,
question?
you
When
meet a
you
girl and already the desire is just so much that they just Orpheus just drips sex.
I do
They
not.
can't help themselves.
I do not. It is
Just
not
like,
true.
no, come on.
I
I've seen women, and you've talked about it. I've seen women when you're doing scenes. I've seen them even just talking to you.
But scenes are different than in a relationship, and hooking up. I'm not having sex with everybody that I've played with, So
Why not?
because that's not the thing that we've come there for. What we negotiate oftentimes is to have this intimate interaction and then move forward, because that's what I want to do with them at that moment in time. But if it's a person I'm interested in, dude, I just say it right out off the bat. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the difference between me and maybe some other people, is the fact that I have no problem with saying I'm interested. And if you're interested in doing X, Y, and Z, let's do it, But other than that, I go into it with clarity. I'm a type of hire to retire. I don't bullshit around. I don't want to play this, like, what are we doing? Like, oh, what is this? You know what I mean? I'm like, this is what I'm into. If you want to do it, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it scares a lot of people off because they're like, oh, you're super intense, or you're asking for a lot, or I barely know you. I'm like, I just want to be clear. Like, if we want to go down this path of dating, or do we want to go down this path of playing, or do we want to just be friends? But I don't waste my time, because the perfect person is out there waiting for me, and you're taking up her time.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what happened with the date, Hannah. Honestly, she really liked me, and she was like really in relationship mode.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, when we were talking, I kind of was putting the brakes on a couple things that she was offering. So
Why is that?
not the brakes, but just kind of slow down a little bit.
Why?
I mean, we're not talking. We're talking about she was ready to like have me move in like right there, and I'm like, wait.
Oh no.
No.
I'm a step by step kind of guy, and I like to enjoy the moments.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I meet a lot of women that just think like they're thinking 6 months down the road and not enjoying the moments.
Well, you know what? I like to plan 6 months down ahead so I can enjoy the moment. You know what I mean?
Well,
like
that was my problem.
I'm like, look, let's talk about doing let's talk about a month. Let's go into a month and see how we do, so I can be invested in the moment. Because I mean, at the end of the day, feelings get hurt when we don't really take the time to talk about what it is that we're getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Like, straight up, like, if you got feelings for me, I need to know that, so I can talk to you in a certain way, so I can be kind, so I can make sure I don't make fun of you or belittle you or joke in a way or something that hurts your feelings. Because once a person has feelings, some of the things become offline. So it's like, let's just be very serious about, what we're doing, where this is, and how we feel, so that I can be in every moment. But if I'm guessing, and is this, or maybe she doesn't like me, or I don't even want to play in that space, because then I'll make a joke or something and it hurts their feelings, because I didn't know that they were, that they had feelings for me. Right. Or vice versa. They can be joking around or tell me something, I'm jealous, or this, that, and the other, when I could just save all this with a fucking conversation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, where does the time go? It's always a pleasure.
Really? Already? Wow.
It's been hour 10.
Oh wow.
Man. Well, don't forget you were late.
So fast.
Don't
The
forget
world's
you were
sexiest grandfather. Now, go ahead, Orpheus. You were going to say something.
I was just going to say, just don't forget that you were late. So it's probably like an hour straight on.
Yeah.
So Orpheus, tell everybody how they can. Are you still doing Ask Orpheus on your website or no?
I do. I'm going to start doing Ask Orpheus next month. Start it back up. So if you want to do Ask Orpheus, you can do Google Ask Orpheus, and then my blog will come out, or you can go to Orpheus.com and see all the old blogs that I got. But my website was hacked, so I'm busy getting it all back together. So
Okay.
but next month it should all be cleaned up, and you should be able to find all the Ask Orpheuses.
So, but basically, probably Instagram is the best way to get a hold of you.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I'm on all those things. And if you're interested in signing up for my class, we have 2 spots left. You can go to the Orpheus orpheusblack@gmail.com and tell me that you're interested in my class, and I'll send you the information. And you can sign up, and we'll go from there.
Get the knowledge.
Get the knowledge.
Well, Orpheus, it's been such a pleasure as always. We will not make this another 2 years. I can't wait to hear from you again soon. And Hannah,
Hopefully it'll be in person.
Hopefully it'll be person, right?
Yeah.
well,
We'll go to Doomies after. Come on.
I like it.
we might have to figure something out. Maybe Lady Remedy can give us the key to Sanctuary, and we can figure something out.
I'll give me some health and some life insurance.
Yeah, we could do that too. And Hannah, that's Hail Hannah Box 666 on Instagram. And we will have Hannah Box shirts very shortly. And go get your Dark Mark show shirts on TeePublic.
Oh,
and,
my book. Sorry.
Ooh.
Oh! Wait a second. Now you're right. You've written a book, or you?
I published my book, The Enso, and it's on Amazon. You can put The Enso by Orpheus Black and support me and check out my book. It's Philosophy of Submission.
Very cool.
Oh, when did you write this?
I wrote it a long time ago, but we just rewrote it for this audience and put it out. And I'm getting great feedback. It's selling very well, and a lot of people have told me it's changed their life. So we're really enjoying it. It's called The Enso, ENSO, and it's called A Philosophy of Submission. And you can put in the Enso in Amazon.com and get the Kindle version, and the hardback will be coming sometime middle of the year.
Very cool. So that's something to look forward to.
Definitely.
I'll definitely, that's something I definitely will. I've got plenty of time to read, so that's definitely something I'm going to be ordering. So, and I'm Goth Comedian on all social media. Everybody have a wonderfully creepy week. Orpheus, you're the best. Hannah, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.